Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of What's New in School. It's been a couple weeks since I've done one of these. That's because I was getting ready for last week's course, and it was great. I had people in from all around the country. It was just great to meet so many new people and hear about their workplaces and their challenges and what products they're using. And so we had a great time, and they were really helpful. We had, because this is the first time I used my 2026 labs, they helped me find some little mistakes that I made, so we got those all cleared up. And so just a shout out to everybody who attended last week's session right here at the Automation School. And with that done, I wanted to announce that I have now scheduled the next in-person hands-on training course. Let me go ahead and switch over here. And I put it right at the automationschool.com just a little while ago. It is scheduled for June 9th through the 11th. And I'm just going to go over to the in-person section here. You can see it again here. But what I'm doing this time is just CompactLogix. So we'll have 8 stations set up for just CompactLogix and some things here. First thing to note is that if you sign up in the next 4 weeks, you will save $150 off the price of that 3-day course, okay? And if you're already enrolled in my online CompactLogix course, you get to take the price of that course off of this price. So either $100 or $150 off of this price on top of the $150 savings. So you can really save some money, and we'd love to have you come in and work with some CompactLogix. Now, one of the things I did for these new classes, and if you want to know, about the training room and about the equipment and about local hotels and about the labs and everything, you'll find all that right here at the automationschool.com/live. But in any case, all that's right there. But I really want to talk to you about the labs for a minute, because when you come to training here in my training room, you're going to get 4 labs to choose from. And so I spent 3 weeks, like the most of 3 weeks, putting together like 400, I don't know if you guys, can you see this? 400 pages of labs, fully colored, double-sided labs on using CompactLogix. And it can be used for ControlLogix too, but what we have here is CompactLogix. That's the software and hardware we have. In any case, it starts out with the basics. This is like basic logic, basic ladder logic. If you're experienced, you're going to fly through that. If you've been using Siemens or Modicon or somebody else, you're going to fly through that, right? But for those electricians who really want that real grounding, that's going to be very helpful to you. And computer programmers too. We get a lot of computer programmers over the years who come and want to learn PLCs, right? Or PACs, right? So in any case, that basics will get you through getting online, uploading, downloading, debugging logic, understanding task programs, routines, understanding how logic works in the controller, how to do online edits. Of course, a lot of questions with that. We don't encourage online edits unless they're needed. And we talk a lot about why you shouldn't do them in certain situations. It's the same thing why you wouldn't hotwire something when a panel was live, right? So in any case, but you need to know how to do that. You need to know how to do forces. You need to know how to identify I/O and identify what version the I/O is. A lot of times issues occur in new systems. People put the wrong I/O card in, doesn't match what's in the controller, and just disabling keying doesn't always work. So in any case, that's the first level 1 labs. And then level 2, we get into actually applications, how they work, what goes wrong with them. And motor control, interlocks, permissives. We talk about jogging routines, and we talk about subroutines. We talk about I/O mapping routines. I know that's popular in some companies that have I/O mapping routines. We go into that in great detail. We go through timers and counters and all kinds of stuff, not just the instructions, the applications they are actually used in the field, right? And so I'm just pulling from my 36 years experience doing this to share as much as I can with students. And then after that, we have in the middle of the room, we have the I/O table, distributed I/O table. So we have 6 to 8 labs on those. Right now it's 6, but there'll be 8 by June, labs on using the distributed I/O in the middle of the room. And that's we have point I/O, we have flex I/O, we have a couple different point I/Os and flex I/Os. We have 1769 on Ethernet. We have 5069 on Ethernet. And we're adding the IFMs, and I got a whole bunch of other stuff I want to add too as time allows. But that is, just getting in there, adding distributed I/O to your project and getting it to work. And we put it all in the middle because students can, you can't use all 8 IO drops at the same time. So they put their card on the IO drop they're using. When they're done, they remove it, and that allows somebody else to use it as well. Now, in addition to that, I know that some people who are really fast and really smart, they're going to get all through that, maybe in 2.5 days, right? So I also have licenses of Factory IO and labs on solving several of the Factory IO scenes. Of course, the very first one is very easy, but they get much harder, especially the pick and place ones and the, equipment arbitration and all of that. So that really will test, somebody who really wants to, really get better at solving applications and figuring out why they're not working. We also have those Factory IO labs. And I think that's just like the icing on the cake. So if anybody who comes here for 3 days, if you're very fast and you're going at a high, quick pace, you'll be able to get that done. Now, one of the things I'm doing too is for this June course, you're going to get all 4 labs. Even if you don't get through them all, I'm going to get a book, give each of you the book of those 4 labs. So if you want to go home and you want to read through it, see what you missed, or maybe do the Factory IO at home because there's a 30-day trial, whatever, you'll have that lab book. That'll be your personal copy of the labs, and, and a little trinket from coming to the automation school. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention for all my online students, these labs are all coming to the 2026 courses, right? So I spent a lot of time thinking through how these labs were organized and what I was going to cover. And so these are going to make the basis of the programming lessons in the 2026 courses. And I'm actually, after a lot of going back and forth, I'm actually going to split up what I was calling the level 1 course. I'm actually going to split that up in to a level 1 and level 2. It allows me to give something away to the people who only bought the level 1 courses. But more importantly, it allows me to have a low-end course for maybe that person who doesn't want to be a programmer, but he wants to be a troubleshooter. He wants to understand it and troubleshoot it. So I'll have to rename all the courses I have out there right now as level 1. I'll have to duplicate them and make them level 1 and level 2. And so anybody who is already into level 1 and level 2, you're going to get both at no additional charge. And those of you who only bought the level 1 editions of my online courses, you, of course, will get the new level 1s free of charge as well. So that's a major change I made. There's so much value in that first level 1 labs, I think, for electricians and technicians who don't want to program, but really want to deeply understand how these things work so they can troubleshoot them. And that's why I kind of split up the applications from, the core basics, right? So in any case, with all that said, that's about all I have. I got to get to work here. I got to finish those labs, start getting them posted up on the new courses and start filming those new lessons. Plus, I got to get ready for the new courses that are on June 9th. So I only have 8 seats. You can see the room behind me. This is what I have in my office. I also have a studio, and I have a meeting room, and I have all kinds of, I have a little kitchen area. So this is what I got. I got 8 seats in here. So the first 8 people to sign up, you can go to theautomationschool.com right now and sign up, reserve your spot, and we only got 8 seats. So save $150. If you need a coupon because you're already registered or already enrolled in the online course, let me know. It'll save you $100 or $150 more. And if you're not enrolled in the online course, don't worry. After you attend the course in person, you get the online course at no charge, okay? So it'll be level 1 and level 2 you'll get at no charge after you attend the in-person course. So with that, that's the end of this week's What's New in School. I hope you are all doing well. We do have a new podcast coming out over on the other channel, Insights in Automation, this week. Some great stuff. We got some great podcasts coming up. And but with that said, I want to wish you all good health and happiness. And until next time, my friends, peace.